Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this explosive breakdown of one of the most shocking moments in daytime television history. Picture this. It's a crisp morning in New York City, the iconic Good Morning America studios buzzing with the usual energy of celebrity interviews, weather updates, and lighthearted banter. The date is July 22nd, 2025, and the guest of honor is none other than country music superstar Blake Shelton. Fresh off the release of his latest album that's been topping charts and winning hearts across the nation. Blake, with his signature cowboy hat tilted just so, his easygoing grin, and that deep Oklahoma drawl that makes fans swoon, strolls onto the brightly lit set like he owns the place. The audience erupts in applause, and co-hosts Robin Roberts, Michael Strahan, and George Stephanopoulos are all smiles, ready to dive into what should be a feel-good segment about Blake's new music, his life on the ranch, and maybe a teaser for his upcoming tour. George, the sharp-suited political veteran turned morning show anchor, kicks things off with a warm welcome. Blake Shelton, what a pleasure to have you back on GMA. Your new single, Ranch Life Blues, is everywhere. Tell us, what's the story behind those heartfelt lyrics? Blake chuckles, leaning back in his chair, and launches into a charming tale about lazy afternoons with his horses, the simple joys of small-town living, and how fatherhood to his stepkids with wife Gwen Stefani has inspired his songwriting. The crowd eats it up, laughter rippling through the studio as Blake shares a funny anecdote about teaching the kids to two-step, only for one to accidentally step on his boot and send him tumbling into a hay bale. It's all going swimmingly, the kind of segment that makes you grab another cup of coffee and settle in for the day. But then, as the conversation flows toward Blake's views on modern country music, George shifts gears ever so slightly, his journalist instincts kicking in. Blake, you've been. The tension escalates like a summer storm rolling over the plains, dark clouds gathering where blue skies once reigned. Blake Shelton, the man who's faced down The Voice contestants and sold out arenas without breaking a sweat, now finds himself cornered in the unforgiving glare of live TV. He shifts in his seat, fingers drumming on his knee, a telltale sign for anyone who's watched his interviews before that the Oklahoma fire is kindling. Uncalled for? George, you poked the bear first. I'm here to talk music, not get grilled like I'm running for office. Folks at home want to hear about the tour, not my voting record. The audience gasps collectively, a ripple of whispers spreading as phones come out to capture the moment. George, not one to back down from a verbal tussle. After all, he's sparred with senators and presidents. Leans in closer, his voice steady but edged with steel. Poked the bear? Blake, this is Good Morning America, not a saloon happy hour. Our viewers expect substance, not just surface-level charm. If you're going to champion real life, then let's talk about it. Your support for lax gun laws, for instance, in a country reeling from school shootings. Isn't that part of the heartland conversation? The studio lights seem to burn hotter, the air conditioner struggling against the heat of the exchange. Robin Roberts, ever the peacemaker, interjects softly. George, maybe we can circle back to the new album, but it's too late. The clash is in full gallop. Blake's eyes flash, his voice rising in that gravelly timbre that commands stadiums. Lax gun laws? George, you sit in this ivory tower, spouting stats from DC think tanks, while I've got friends and family who hunt to eat, who protect their own because the law's too damn slow. You want substance? Try living it instead of scripting it. The words land like a thunderclap, the audience divided. Some cheering Blake's raw honesty, others murmuring in shock at the profanity slipping through on Network T. In a move that sends shockwaves through the studio and beyond, Blake Shelton shoves his chair back with a screech that echoes like a record scratch in a honky-tonk. You know what, George? I'm not here to be your punching bag for ratings. America, thanks for the love. Catch me on the road, not in this circus. And with that, he rips off his mic pack, tossing it onto the table with a clatter that makes the coffee mugs rattle. The audience erupts, half in boos, half in whoops of support, as Blake strides toward the edge of the set, his boots thudding against the polished floor. George, caught off guard for the first time in decades, stammers, Blake, wait, let's not end it like this. But his words fall on deaf ears. Producers swarm like bees from a disturbed hive, one grabbing Blake's arm gently, another signaling for commercial break. The iconic GMA logo swirling into view just as Blake disappears behind the curtain. Cut to black, but the internet explodes in real time. Tweets flying faster than confetti at a rodeo. Blake just owned GMA. Hashtag Team Blake. Countered by classless exit. George was asking legit questions. Hashtag GMA drama. Backstage, chaos reigns. Blake's team huddles with ABC execs, apologies and accusations flying thicker than snow in a blizzard. Gwen Stefani, watching from their LA home, texts him immediately, "Babe, what happened? You okay?" While fans flood his socials with heart emojis and pitchfork emojis alike. Meanwhile, in the control room, George is pacing, his tie loosened, muttering about ungrateful celebrities to a sympathetic Robin. The segment replays on every news outlet within minutes, pundits dissecting it like a crime scene. Was it politics, ego, or just a bad hair day? Blake, cooling off in his dressing room with a bottle of water and his manager, reflects on the whirlwind. "Man, I didn't mean to blow up, but that guy pushed every button. I'm all for talk, but not when it's a gotcha game." Hours later, the official statement from GMA hits. We're. Days turn to weeks, and the dust settles on the GMA showdown, but the echoes reverberate through Hollywood Hills and Nashville neon. Blake Shelton emerges stronger, his authenticity amplified like an amp cranked to 11. Invites pour in, from Joe Rogan for a no-holds-barred pod, to Fox News wanting his take on media bias. He chooses wisely, opting for a sit-down with his old pal Luke Bryan on a Country Awards pre-show, where he opens up, "Look, I lost my cool. Ain't proud of that. But when someone comes at your life like it's a punchline, you swing back." George is a pro, but that morning it felt personal. The confession humanizes him further, fans forgiving the outburst and doubling down on loyalty. Album sales soar, Ranch Life Blues hitting #1. Its lyrics now dissected for hidden jabs at morning show mavens. Gwen and Blake release a joint statement. All class. "We're grateful for the support. Life's too short for grudges." On to the next chorus. George Stephanopoulos, meanwhile, spins it into a teachable moment on his evening slot, discussing celebrity accountability and the blurred lines of entertainment journalism. "It was tough, but conversations like that push us all," he says, earning nods from colleagues while skeptics roll eyes at the spin. Behind the scenes, ABC and Blake's team broker a quiet truce. No lawsuit, no boycott, just a mutual agreement to let sleeping dogs lie. The real winners? The viewers and the viral machine, as clip compilations rack up millions, spawning think pieces in Variety and Rolling Stone on the death of the friendly interview. Broader implications unfold. Does this signal a new era where stars draw harder lines on personal probes? Country music forums buzz with pride. Blake said what we all think, while urban chattering classes decry the anti-intellectual rage. Late 2025 sees ripple bookings. Blake skips coastal gigs for Heartland heart-to-hearts. George softens his celeb segments with more levity.